Save that, keep that, love that. Put it in your folder. We all brought our folders today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Need the folders. Like I said, no cards are due tomorrow. I'll be checking. Well, Garrett gets bonus today for having them done. Cool? Alright. So, our second part of our 5-part lecture series on neurology is today. And by 5 I meant 4. Our 4-part series. No, I'm talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. You guys need to have a conversation. So, our lecturer today is Gillespie. He's a medical student from Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine, and he's going to be talking about Afferent and Efferent pathways, which sounds exciting. So please be on your most wonderful meeting. All right.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So I know the first speaker on Mondays, about 2 days ago. Phil, he gave a really good, comprehensive overview of everything. But I know that was a lot of stuff. Like most of this was like the first time you guys were presenting any information. So it's okay if you felt like I didn't understand any of, or like we just got a little bit of that, because that's natural. So what I want to do a little bit is focus on a little bit, but get in a little deeper detail and try to make sure you guys understand some basic concepts about the afferent and efferent properties of the nervous system. So what do you guys, I know he brought this up on Monday, what do you guys remember just from the term afferent and efferent? And I guess I should say, you guys are doing this already well. Just raise your hand. She was up first.
I think Efferent is the one that something about exiting.
Okay. Good. Excellent. What's about afferent?
Like something happens and it sends it to the brain.
Arrival.
Okay. Good. Good. And make sure, feel free, like, interrupt me, ask questions about anything, like, even if it sounds silly, definitions, because, you know, if you don't understand what the word means, then it doesn't make sense to me repeating it over and you're not getting it. So, so yeah, you're correct. Afferent is sensory input. Efferent is motor input. So, in other ways, input into the brain and output. The reason why this is important, because the brain needs all types of sensory to like perceive its world. It's our surroundings, and when we're able to do that, we can interact effectively with it. So another important player that I want to introduce when you're talking about this. So afferent is like input into the brain, but there's another player that's called the interneuron, and this neuron this is a way to describe a neuron that communicates with afferent and efferent nerves, as well as afferent and efferent portions of the brain. Kind of get a general roadmap what's going on. So right here you see this is a kind of a general schematic, a bunch of nerves, and a lot of them kind of roam from the peripheral nervous system. Hold on, let me get the point here. Kind of peripheral nerves kind of enter into the spinal cord. Remember this, now the bony structure, remember, is the spinal column. The spinal cord exists within the spinal column, and then they go up towards the brain. Okay. Just kind of getting an eye, taking it a step further. So I guess I saw that. So do you have a question? Okay, sorry. So does anyone everyone understand kind of where we're heading? Like, information is going to come from the outside, head up to the spinal cord and up to the brain, and then the brain is going to send stuff back out. Okay. So sensory nerves report information from the peripheral nervous system and deliver it to the central nervous system. Now, not all nerves, you say, report the same information. Some nerves have different functions. So based on that type of function is determined by the type of receptor that they have. They have specialized receptors. And based on that, they can determine what kind of information they're going to deliver. And some of the receptors are activated by kind of things they can pick up on, as well as the threshold needed to activate that receptor. Do you guys kind of remember what and remember the Phil's talk about action potentials and reaching that threshold, and when you get over that, the nerve gets activated. Okay. And we'll kind of review that if you need to. So there's several, these are kind of the main categories of different types of receptors that some sensory nerves will have. The first one is mechanoreceptors. These are your pressure and touch receptors. And this is like, they do various different amounts of touch, like light touch, you know, duration, pressure, vibration, different things like that. Can you guys think of where you would find these type of receptors on your body?
Fingers.
Okay.
Toes.
Okay. Skin, that's good. Skin, okay. Good. So pretty much anywhere you can think that you can feel something. So if you press here, you're like, I can feel that, I can feel this. You have mechanoreceptors. And these are pretty much almost all over your body. Next are photoreceptors. And these are going to pick up on light. Do you guys think of an example where you would find these at? On your eyes. Okay.
What'd I say?
What did someone else say? Okay.
I was thinking something different.
Okay. Good. That's the main example that I think of as well. Now, chemoreceptors are going to be able to pick up chemicals they trigger and activate them. They send chemical information to the body. Now, this is maybe not so intuitive, but what would you guys think of with this? Where would you find chemoreceptors in your body?
Your immune system.
You said nose? That's possible. That's one. So nose is one area. Tongue, yep. So that's the big one, like tongue. So you break down, when you eat food, your body breaks it down, like you start breaking it down a little bit in your mouth, and you start breaking things into sweets and sugars, salts, sour things, bitter. And different chemicals are going to cause different things to the cells and make them send different information to your brain. What about thermoreceptors? Those are going to regulate temperature. What do you guys think about that? Skin. Yeah. Good. And nociceptors, those are going to handle the extremes of pain and temperature. So, once again, you probably find those on your body and your skin anywhere. Okay. Another thing an observation that you notice is that nerves, sensory nerves, as well as we're going to find out with the motor nerves, is that if they report similar information, they're going to travel together. And so if you have, let's say, temperature nerves or that feeling of thumb, your pinky and all that stuff, once they start heading towards the spinal cord, they start forming together called a tract. And then, so they all start kind of like a highway merging into one road. And then they head up to the spinal cord and they combine with similar nerves that report similar information, and then they all are going to ultimately end up to the same area of the brain that controls that area of sensory information. Two major sensory pathways that I wanted to kind of bring about is one is the dorsal column system. It's used for transmitting. So this is these tracks, right, that I'm talking about. So one track is the dorsal column system. It is used for transmitting discriminative touch, and discriminative touch is feeling if something's hard or soft or mushy or spongy, that kind of stuff, that information. Vibration. Vibration is, if you think about what vibration really is, vibration is fast changing stimulus, right? So something that's moving really quickly. So not only is this like something that you can feel if it's vibrating, but this is your first like alerting touch. So if someone touches you on your shoulder, that first touch to let you know like, oh, there's something touching me. But then, or if something is taking off you, So if you put your coat on, or if you put your coat off, like that first initial feeling that you get, that's what that sensation would be. 2-point discrimination, the ability to basically know that there's 2 points, that you can feel 2 points on you. And proprioception. Proprioception is basically the ability to know your joints in space. Okay, so like if you guys, everyone just close their eyes right now, and if you were just to move your hand up and down, you're able to know where your joints are, your fingers and everything, without you even looking at your eyes. The reason why you know your fingers up there is that's proprioception letting you know. That's your joints letting you know where your finger is at all times. That's your brain letting you know your brain is. So, what you said? So the next track is the anterolateral system. This transmits your pain, temperature, and light touch. So pretty self-explanatory. This is going to transmit all those up in there. And then what's also interesting to notice is that when these tracks get to the spinal cord, they tend to cross over on the opposite side. So this kind of explains why you see we talked about how on Monday where one's half of the brain controls one side of the body, but it doesn't look like it's the same side, it's the opposite side. It's because these tracks cross over. The ALS, or the anterolateral system, crosses over once it initially hits the spine, and then the dorsal column crosses over right at the brainstem. This is revisiting the homunculus. Do you guys remember what the homunculus means and what's the significance of it?
Because a little man.
Right. And why does the little man look so funny?
I don't remember. I just remember. Because they thought that before they surgically removed the brain, they thought that someone was seeing brain move and stuff. Yeah.
They sorry. Before they surgically what?
Like looked at the brain, they thought that a person was in there moving and stuff.
You're close, sort of like that. So basically, it's a representation. It's of what the human body is representing in the brain. So the reason why the little man looks so funny is because these are how much part of the brain is dedicated to your parts of the body. So it has a lot of dedication to your lips and your hands. So on the left side, is the sensory aspect, and on the right side, I don't know if I'm standing in the way of you guys, is the motor side. And the reason why they're big is because they do complex features. So it takes a lot more coordination, more skill to speak than it is to kind of like sit on your butt, you know. It takes more to like use your hands if you're trying to you think any type of arts and craft things you're doing, sewing, anything like that. It takes a lot more skill to do that. So your brain dedicates more of its energy to that. And so, did you have a question?
Yeah. What do you call the disorder that you can't feel any touch, different pains or any textures in your skin? It's like some kind of disorder.
Well, it's still a lot of those that do. I'm not exactly sure if
No, I know.
they can't feel.
Like they can't feel pain or anything like that.
Somebody, actors.
No.
Like is it all over their body, or is it just a certain area of their body? Like that, I'm not exactly sure. Like what disease that would be, where you would only not just feel pain, but I'm sure it happens. But I'm not exactly sure. I have to get back to you on that one. Where it's all over their body. Yeah.
So you know how people can pat their head and rub their stomach at the same time?
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that? 'Cause I can't do that. I can't do that.
What do you?
Like I'm saying, like, do it, just work together in your brain or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to do it.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff that we do, you have to your brain. When we first do it, because after a while, some people who do that after a while, it's learned behavior. Because when you first learn it, it's tough. Like anything you do, like riding a bike, learning how to write, it takes a while because your brain has to think about it. But once it becomes a learned behavior, your brain almost does a second nature, and so it takes coordination. It takes it's more like that muscle memory type thing. So